Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Is that okay? Okay. Sorry? That doesn't feel like it's okay. Is it on? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly, let's get seated so that we can get started with our program today. My name is Caroline Karuitham. I work with IFDC. I'm the Regional Coordinator for Communications in East and Southern Africa. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. We are so excited to have you with us today as we celebrate IFDC's 50th anniversary, commemorating the 50 years that IFDC has been working to develop better technologies and to develop agriculture from the ground up. We are so happy to have you here, and we look forward to having an engaging platform where we will share our work and where we will also be able to network with all of you. So we have quite a tight program today because we only have the welcome address. We'll have the welcome address from the country director for Ethiopia. Then we'll have a presentation of the IFDC strategy. And then we'll have the overview of IFDC history globally and in Ethiopia. Then we'll have a message from the IFDC, Vice President of Programs. Then we'll have programs presentations from the different programs leads and also from our partners in the same programs. And then, because it's our 50th anniversary, we'll cut a cake to celebrate the 50 great years of IFDC's work. Globally and also in Ethiopia. So kindly, without much further ado, allow me to invite the country director for Ethiopia, Dr. Abebe, to come and give his welcome address. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Your Excellencies, delegates, Your Excellencies, diplomats from representing USAID, senior experts, officials representing government, representatives of civil society, and our development partners. On behalf of IFDC Ethiopia, I welcome you all to celebrate our 15th anniversary. This is a day at which we try to see how far we have progressed, to what extent we have influenced and contributed to our community in terms of transferring technology, developing technology, transferring technology, and contributing to their income and livelihoods as a whole. So this is like a time at which some of you would see little evidences from IFDC in some of our contribution, say, to extension system. So it would be a time at which you may listen to our project managers, where they may tell us or provide us an overview of the project which we have. So in today's session, we'll be starting with introductory remarks, where we may see IFDC at a global level, where we may try to see its impact in some way. We may not go in depth in tracking based on key development indicators. However, we try to see the influence. So, as some of you may know, IFDC has been established back in 1974. Since then, IFDC has operated in over 100 countries. So there were a number of projects, a number of partners, a number of project approaches on which IFDC has invested with its partner. So the investment has gone from like working in research laboratory and then coming with a research product with the farmer to the point where it may increase, yield and productivity. So we are trying in a way, trying to contribute to sustainable development goal, addressing, critical problems like poverty, food insecurity. I must say, I'm highly grateful to see you over here to come and see how we may celebrate the 15th anniversary. Having said this, as per the timetable, we may go with the next step. So there is I may hand over to Carolina.
Thank you, Abebe. So in 2020, IFDC launched a 10-year strategy running from 2020 up to 2030. So we'll watch a video of the same. Thank you.
IFDC solutions bridge the gap between research and funders, and between what the farmer produces and what the consumer wants. We accomplish this through applying innovative research.
Since 1974, the International Fertilizer Development Center, IFDC, has researched, developed, and scaled sustainable agricultural solutions to end global hunger and poverty. As an independent expert in soil nutrient and input technologies, IFDC is uniquely positioned to take your next generation fertilizer, soil health, and agricultural technology ideas and make them a reality. From ideation to commercialization through project development, proof of concepts through lab and greenhouse trials, and product performance validation through field trials. Whether your idea is a sketch on the back of a napkin or an established process that needs improving, IFDC provides clients with support at every step. IFDC's scientists regularly perform fertilizer research processes and product development related to nutrient efficiency, balanced nutrition, soil health, and nutrient recycling. Our laboratories are equipped to develop and analyze a wide variety of agro inputs. Feasibility tests and nutrient content analysis provide a basis for the development of new products and quality control in the production process. A bench-scale coating lab is equipped to conduct granulation and fluid bed coating research for slow and controlled release multi-nutrient fertilizers, while our analysis and quality control labs provide product evaluation, including important data on nutrient content for production facilities. When your idea is ready for production, we offer pilot plant and engineering services to test a product at scale. Our pilot plant complex, comprising 5 scales of fertilizer production plants, including phosphoric acid and granulation, can assist in testing the feasibility and scalability of any new fertilizer product. From physical properties testing to technical assistance during design, construction, and startup of fertilizer production plants, IFDC's engineering services ensure a comprehensive approach to developing your process or product. For larger projects, engineering staff can perform pre-feasibility or basic engineering studies for new or modified commercial processes and provide on-site troubleshooting and debottlenecking services with experienced staff. On-site training sessions for client, technical, and operations staff are also available. IFDC is the only independent, nonprofit expert that can take your product one step closer to commercialization through greenhouse and global field trials. Our 4 in-house greenhouse facilities allow to test the performance and quality of inputs, from nutrient use efficiency to climate analysis. We have the capability of measuring nutrient losses by volatilization and leaching and greenhouse gas emissions in both greenhouse and field trials. With partnerships all over the world, IFDC has the exclusive ability to perform field trials under limitless growing conditions across Africa, Asia, Europe, and Latin and North America. From idea to commercialization, IFDC is your one-stop shop for developing cutting-edge fertilizer and soil health technologies. Don't leave your idea on the back of a napkin. Let's make it a reality and change the world together.
Thank you for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. Now we'll move forward with our program, and once again I'll invite Abebe, the country director for Ethiopia, to come and share with us the history of IFDC Global and IFDC Ethiopia. Welcome.
Once again, I must say good morning. It would be too hard to tell the details of the role of an institute in over 50 years. I'll try to give you like an overview of what IFDC, what it has attempted to do, and its like influence in contributing to community and addressing, development challenge. So, okay. Is it? Okay, yeah. So to begin with, we can look at like key global problems like poverty and hunger. These are like number 1 and 2. They were ranked as 1 and 2 because of they are like root cause of problems. And the challenge is so high that it affects millions of people. So behind this problem, various institutes, partners look for transforming agriculture in many ways. And in fact, in African context, we look for African Green Revolution. So we had somewhere success in Asia. There is an effort, there is a development effort that everyone strives to reach to revolutionize the agriculture. If I take like an analogy, humankind could travel to space because of technology. If there were no technology, travel to space wouldn't be possible. So that's like analogy to the change we need in agriculture sector. So in agriculture, technology like fertilizer, seed, water, good agricultural practices also contribute towards that. Above all, fertilizers come first, because even if you have improved seed, you wouldn't get a good yield unless you have, good nutrition. So again, if you look at how plants grow, the way we need like food, vitamin, nutrients, plants also need balanced nutrients. So in the same way, one has to see how to provide a balanced nutrient to plants. So that's where we see really fertilizer as one important input within the system. So IFDC has been striving towards this. And if you look at the history of fertilizer, in early years, IFDC scientists have fingerprints in formulating DAP and urea. So these are widely used fertilizers globally. So in earlier video, you have seen how IFDC operates in its power plant, where different materials come in, formulated, granulated, and where we may get, different types of fertilizer. In fact, in connection with this, we have to think of like how to feed global, the population we have. Say by 2025, we may have as much as, say, 10 billion people. How can you feed all these people unless you have technologies? So if technology has taken us to space, it is with technology that we can feed the people. So that's the importance of fertilizer and associated technologies. If IFDC has contributed to formulation of DAP and urea, then it has influenced millions of farmers globally. So like a rough estimate based on FAO statistics and other publications, we can think of like 500 million farmers, smallholder farmers currently involved in agriculture. So the assumption is that 30 to 40% of these farmers are using fertilizers consistently. In fact, because of poverty, access, different causes they may not use, however, we can assume this figure. And these smallholder farmers contribute to 70 to 80% of food supply. So it means if we roughly take a rough figure, we have at least influenced like half of these millions of farmers, let's say 300 million farmers globally. So that's like the influence we have at global level. So you can take down the figure to our country also. Behind this, the increase in productivity, in supply, the stimulation of market, the income they generate, and its contribution to livelihood would be great. So that would be like a rough statement that may show the impact of IFDC. IFDC has been established in 1975 in USA, Alabama state. It has operated in over 100 countries. So in times it comes in and go out. So where have we been? Like IFDC has been in Ethiopia since 1960. We'll see a separate table. So it's a research and development organization where we work things in laboratory, experiment in the field, and then take technology to farmer. So we have a center of excellence, as you have seen in the video. We have a pilot plant. We have greenhouses. We have experimental sites. So these are, that is our center of excellence, and it's like, we can take that as our signature. It is what makes us distinct from most of the organizations which you may see in development world. So we say a healthy soil will lead to healthy plants and profitable farm and sustainable environment. So if you have a healthy soil, obviously you will have healthy plants. So that will also translate into, animal inputs and animal productivity. So our vision is like having a healthier soil. So the mission is we try to bring innovative research. We work on market system development. We try to scale, soil and plant nutrition solutions to partners. We in fact can say that we use PPP approach, public-private partnership approach. So you may listen to our project managers in the coming slides, in the coming sessions. Their description would show you how they work with government, private sector, and other partners, where we try to, work in such approach. So that is our mission. So coming back to IFDC Ethiopia, we have been there like since 1960. I hope some of you, like a senior staff from Ministry of Agriculture, may recall use of fertilizer back in 90 was really minimal, where farmers were advised, forced to use the technology. And even, I do recall, events where experts from Ministry of Agriculture have been taken to other countries just to let them know how others may use fertilizer. So with support from major donor USAID, we have been doing this thing. And there was also other efforts to make use of resources that we have in country. By the way, you know that our government spends a lot in importing fertilizer. So local production, local substitution could be a good solution. So in line with that, back before 15 years, IFDC with Ethiopian Geological Survey has conducted a survey to see how phosphate rocks can be used for production of fertilizer. To this day, are we using that resource? No. So it means this could be areas of investment where private sector can come in. So if we look at some of the projects that we had previously, from 1992 to 2021, IFDC has been working in promoting use of improved seed, better management of soil practices with US funding as part of development of competitive markets. So we still have projects which attempts to address similar problems. Many of you may also know a project funded by USAID called AGP, Agriculture Growth Program. So we were part of it. Lucky enough, we have a staff who has served for IFDC by then. So as part of Fix the Future program, IFDC has worked with ACDI VOCA as sub-partner and contribute to technical support of blending facilities, to experimentation of fertilizer use in connection with maize. Maybe our friend, well, we have a friend who has served on the project, but I wanted to let him say something. So IFDC has provided support in that regard. Very recently, we have a project called 2Scale, which started back in 2012, and we have partners over here, SNB and other private partners. These were some of the projects that IFDC has worked, and we have tried to contribute to development in some way. If we try to look at some of the projects that we have today, we have what's called Soil Consortium, Space to Place, which focus on fertilizer use efficiency. This is a support tool which tries to promote ISFM. I think you will have a presentation by our staff on this. We also have one of the largest agribusiness project in Africa, which operates in 10 countries. We will have also a presentation on that. The other project which we now have is a kind of initiative. We call it AFO, African Fertilizer. It's a digital platform which tries to provide statistics and information. So this contributes to the digital strategy of the country. So it provides market statistics, market data in connection with fertilizer, its production, its type, supply, prices, and so on. Even it provides alerts, and it's used on in providing an alert, or it's a watch system. So in a way, the digital statistics will contribute to the policy also in some way, because it contributes to decision making. An element of it is a support which we provide to digital soil mapping with ISRIC. In fact, it is MOA on the project. We'll have a presentation on that, also a brief presentation on that. The other project which we have as upcoming is a transform, which focuses on soil health, fertility, support to private sector, research and coordination. So these are the elements which we may hopefully start early in January 2025. So as we proceed, what we see is some of the projects we have are global in nature, so it's multi-country. So it may try to work with partners like AU, NEPAD. It helps to say monitoring of their practices. If somebody wants to monitor fertilizer use per hectare, per country, you have to go back to AFO. So these are the importance of the projects that we have. An initiative which we still have with AU, we have an officer who may follow that. We have post-summit effort where we try to promote soil health action plan across multiple countries, which is at early stage, which we are planning to do with African Union. So this is in brief some of the projects that we have. If I have to tell you, we are present somewhere in Asia, in Bangladesh, where we try to implement climate smart agriculture in Bangladesh. That is in Asia. And if you go to West Africa, we have also big projects called soil values, which are funded by Netherlands Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So we have multiple projects. And if you try to see the nature of the project, some focus specifically on specific practices in fertilizer use. And to your surprise, some of the technologies, let's say urea deep placement, are well known. That has been well facilitated in West Africa, yet we don't use it in Ethiopia. Even granulation of fertilizer. These are slow release fertilizer which may release nutrients in a slow rate, which is good and which may not lead to losses. So IFDC is exerting huge effort in coming with innovation and research. So we have a research and innovation unit. We are thinking of having green ammonia to reduce green gas emission. So fertilizer production, the side effect, fertilizer production affects environment in a sense, it contributes to high emission. So looking for green ammonia, innovative fertilizer, like nano fertilizer, organo-mineral fertilizers are key agenda. And for your information, very recently IFDC scientists have come with what is called organo-mineral fertilizer. It's also a mineral, it also has organic elements. So it combines both, which leads to sustainability in some way. So in brief, it would be really hard to say a lot and to talk about IFDC, but we have a specific project focusing on potato capacity building in other countries. We have specific projects focusing on fertilizer use and promoting, even supporting policy across countries in West Africa. So we have a number of partners which we work with, including regional initiatives, but in brief, this would be quite adequate. We have major donors like USAID, Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Netherlands, BMGF, and we still have other embassies like the Sweden and so on in other countries. So these are some of the lists we have, and we often work also with knowledge institutes like ISRIC, Wageningen University, even universities in the US with innovation funding from Fit the Future program. So we have key partners like Ministry of Agriculture, Cooperative, EADC. These are government units which are helping and working with us. We also have civil society members like SNV, BOPEC, African and ICRISAT, who have contributed us to undertaking experimentation in the field. So we are at a stage where we want to work with local partners like SOSL, Environment Coffee, Forest Forum, and the Well in Action. So we are in a way implementing with different partners, and that's how we try to contribute to reduction of global problems like poverty and food insecurity. So in brief, that's what I have for you. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Abeben, for that very in-depth overview of IFDC's history globally and in Ethiopia. At this juncture, we'll have the Global Vice President of Programs, Dr. Umu Kamaran. She was not able to join us here physically, but she'll address us virtually. So, team, if you are ready, we can project her presentation.
Ethiopia is also one of the first countries in which the USA developed resilience and stability for the cross-construction activities of the Abuja and the Space-Based Initiative. In 2010-2011, we worked with ATO, the ONCP, to develop open the space driving rails. We conducted enrichment auditions to determine the contribution of secondary and micronutrients to create the water. For the past 12 years, through the Food program, we are working to increasing our businesses to provide farmers with responsibility to adopt technology. This last year, already this year, 2024, in May 2024, we worked with the African Union Commission and many others to organize the Africa Fertilizer and Soil Health Summit in Nairobi. And we are working with them to Ethiopian farmers are proving that they are up to the job, they are up to the task, and with the support, the strong support of the Ethiopian government, the backing of the donor community, the dynamism of the private sector, the new technological innovations that are being introduced for producers, Ethiopian agriculture is poised to accelerate sharply. It has the capacity and it has the means, and the doors for agricultural transformation are wide open. I hope you all enjoyed this open door event. I thank you for the opportunity to say a few words, and that's it. Batam Basagenano. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Umu. We appreciate the wonderful message that you've shared with us here. So we'll now move on to the program's presentations, and I'll start with our program called 2Scale. Kindly Tekan, if you could come and speak a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. I will be presenting myself. My name is Takalinya Ayano. I'm leading the project called 2Scale towards sustainable clusters in agribusiness through learning in entrepreneurship. It is one of a market development program we have in Ethiopia. So I will just invite you to see a short video of how 2Scale is operating across 10 countries in Africa for its second phase. Then shortly after, I will present 2Scale what 2Scale is doing in Ethiopia. So welcome to the video, and watch the video.
and manages a portfolio of public-private partnerships for inclusive business in the agri-food sectors and industries. To scale focus on establishing agribusiness clusters, To-Scale is the largest incubator and accelerator for inclusive agribusiness in Africa and manages a portfolio of public-private partnerships for inclusive business in the agri-food sectors and industries. To-Scale focus on establishing agribusiness clusters built around business champions.
Nos champions sont soit des organisations de producteurs entrepreneuriales, soit des PME locales qui commercialisent ou transforment les produits des agriculteurs. Ces produits sont destinés aux marchés régionaux et locaux, y compris aux consommateurs de la base de la pyramide.
The To-Scale program funded by the Dutch government had a first phase from 2012 to 2018. It was implemented in 8 program countries in East, South, and West Africa. The implementing partners were IFDC, Bobin, and ICRA. Following a successful first phase which validated the approach, the program commenced an expanded second phase from 2019 to 2023. The core implementing partners this time include IFDC, S&P, Bobin, with TRC on board to measure impact. This phase of the program covers 10 countries in East, West, and North Africa, using 73 public-private partnerships in 4 food sectors to drive the inclusive agribusiness agenda. To showcase the impact of To-Scale, we have selected 4 impact cases from 2 partnerships in Ivory Coast and Nigeria.
Après échange avec les producteurs, ils disaient qu'ils utilisaient les engrais et semences sur plusieurs années. Nous leur avons dit que ça ne donnait pas un bon goût à leur riz. Chaque année, ils devaient changer les intrants. Le faisant, ils ont vu que ça leur apportait un bon rendement, le riz avait un bon goût. Ils ont eu encore de meilleurs acheteurs. Là, dans la production, avant nous, on vérifiait en 2 heures. Aujourd'hui, avec la formation, nous le faisons en ligne avec un vrai. Avant, on faisait 30 kilos par demi à 1 hectare. Aujourd'hui, on fait 15 kilos à l'hectare grâce à la formation évoluée.
Outre l'augmentation de la quantité et de la qualité, To-Scale travaille avec le champion d'affaires dans la chaîne de valeur pour développer des marchés pour le riz local et les produits à base de riz pour les consommateurs à faible revenu.
Le constat que nous avons fait, c'est que lorsque vous partez dans les points de distribution de riz ici en Côte d'Ivoire, il nous est difficile de trouver des marques de riz locales. Alors nous sommes donnés pour ambition de promouvoir le riz produit ici en Côte d'Ivoire. Nous avons développé une marque qui est Locari et notre ambition c'est de faciliter l'accès de ces riz-là à différentes catégories de consommateurs ici en Côte d'Ivoire. Et donc, vous pouvez avoir accès à notre riz via notre page internet ou encore sur notre page Facebook. Pour d'autres catégories de consommateurs, nous avons plusieurs boutiques, notamment notre propre boutique qui est basée à Cocody. En plus de ça, d'autres distributeurs dans les communes d'Abidjan, mais aussi à l'intérieur du pays, où nous avons de nombreux distributeurs, afin de faciliter justement l'accès à ces riz-là aux consommateurs ivoiriens qui très souvent ont de faibles moyens, mais nous leur permettons de manger du riz produit localement à moins de coût et de très bonne qualité, conditionné dans les mêmes conditions que le riz produit.
One of the key factors that hamper women and rural youth engagement in commercial farming is the lack of employability skills and the expertise to generate and manage money. To-Scale has prioritized the empowerment of women and youth to leverage economic opportunities along agricultural value chains.
These women that earn over $2 per day are the final stage of our processing line. Their job is to remove corn and other grains that does not conform with the quality standards set by our
lokaci da aka bamu. Da muna yi mu biyu a ƙarshe dai sana'ar tana buɗe da haka tana fara sai muka janyo wasu muke cin abinci da haka har ma wasu mu su samu su ci amma iyayenmu da an yi haka zuwa iyalanmu. Idan masara ce muna iya yin buhu 70-60 dawa muka yi buhu.
Providers. TwoScale facilitated an input credit scheme that includes smallholder farmers in the financial system.
One of the many benefits of our partnership with TwoScale is the financial inclusion of over 15,000 smallholder farmers. What this means is that Abe Funke procures inputs for this farmer, and then we give this credit to them without harvest. Farmers are happy to pay back, these loans with grades, premium grades have been carefully produced. What this does is that farmers are able to have direct access to the market. They have premium prices for their products. Number two, farmers have higher yields as a result of the seeds and then the quality inputs they've been given, and we are happy to receive premium grades at harvest that we process and supply to our off-takers.
For the past 10 years, TwoScale has embarked significantly to smallholder agriculture, BOB consumer markets, and agribusinesses across sub-Saharan Africa.
Les objectifs étaient ambitieux, mais ils ont été atteints ou dépassés grâce à l'engagement des producteurs, de d'autres acteurs de terrain et du secteur privé. TwoScale est décrit dans Promoting Inclusive Agribusiness in Africa.
Thank you. So I will just go to my presentation. What is TwoScale doing in Ethiopia? Maybe you can project my presentation now. So I may just, all right. So TwoScale, it's an acronym, by the way, to mean toward sustainable clusters in agribusiness through learning in entrepreneurship. So it's taken from the first two letters, letters of the words. Then TwoScale is a program that works on inclusive agribusiness development. So TwoScale is, as you have seen in the video, is operating in 10 African countries in the second phase of its program, which is running from 2019 to 2023, which has also been prolonged to 2024 now. It's ending in December. It was originally a 50 million, can you put it on full screen mode, please? Can't. Okay, then it's an accelerator program. We work with the public-private partnership model where we solicit business ideas that are inclusive in nature. We see the terms of inclusion. How can the business idea benefit the smallholder farmers, small and medium enterprises, as well as how can it address the base of the pyramid consumer? So looking at the business idea of the partners, we will form a partnership where the private sector takes the lead. So we have the pillars, 4 pillars. I don't know how. Okay. When we start our partnership, we always begin with a business idea from a private company. Could be a farmers organization. Usually, most of, as you know, in Ethiopia, we don't have much strong private sector organizations, but we work with farmers cooperative unions. So we get a business idea from them. So what makes TwoScale unique is we form a local network of actors. We call them agribusiness clusters, where we can see actual problems solved at grassroots level. So along the way, but we also see how the market is benefiting the farmers in making them competitive. So value chain strengthening, including the BOP markets, could be one of the interventions that we support as a pillar. Then institutional business environment, how policy or other business operation conditions are affecting. So we usually form partnership which are owned by partners. Ownership of local partners is the basic requirement that we want to have when forming a partnership. Then apart from local ownership, we also see how it can be empower women, smallholder farmers, youth, and as well as BOP consumers. Apart from that, for TwoScale is looking for a business solution for poverty reduction and food security, so we also look at commercial sustainability. So it makes agriculture complete when we see businesses also functioning well. We intervene in the agriculture sector by using business solutions. So that's how TwoScale approaches its partnership. Yeah, these are the goals of TwoScale Phase 2 across all African countries to reach around 1 million BOP consumers and 750,000 smallholder farmers, as well as around 5,000 micro entrepreneurs, and of which we look for 20,000 job creation across Africa in 10 countries. So 60 public-private partnership could be a kind of vehicles to make these goals achieved. So we form partnership in order to solve problems. So I think in terms of geographic focus, from the video you have also seen that we operate in Ethiopia, Kenya, South Sudan, you see Nigeria, Niger, Mali, Burkina, Ghana, and Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire. So it is a project implemented by 3 consortium organizations, one of which is Base of the Pyramid Innovation Center, more of working on the base of the pyramid market innovations, where you see the different techniques and how to serve the BOP markets. We also have IFDC. You have seen already what's IFDC doing before. We also have SNV, which is a development organization working on different sectors, including agriculture. So one of the TwoScale partners is SNV. Then DGIS, or the Director General for International Relations of the Netherlands Embassy, is the one funding the program. What happened? Oh. So, TwoScale had 2 phases already. The first one, which was from 2013 to 2018, including the bridging phase. By then, we had a partnership on maize and soybean that includes Sidama Elto Farmers Cooperative Union, Gas Agro, Angarabaya, Hunde Chawaka, and others working in those commodities. Sesame rotational crop, where we operate with Dansha Aurora Farmers Cooperative Union and Seti Tumora Farmers Cooperative Union. Also on potato and vegetables with Solagro, Robi Berga Farmers Cooperative Union, Liban and Maki Batu Farmers Cooperative Union. We also have some interventions with Family Milk, AKF, and Itete Dairy on the dairy sector, where we try to work on the dairy sector. Oh. No. Just work. Okay. So the second phase, which is running from 2019 to 2024, with a possible consolidation phase for 2025 now, is with Indigenous Oil Seeds Partnership with Sahai Union in Amhara region. Also, we have started with Sesame, we also have extended the Sesame Rotational Crop Partnership until the northern conflict arises. We also have a spice and herbs partnership in the southwest of Ethiopia with Damascene Essential Oils. We also had a maize partnership with East African Tiger Brands Industry and Bore Bako Farmers Cooperative Union. We also have interventions on honey with Benchmaji Coffee Farmers Cooperative Union. The Harikot partnership with Rasgaind, Gunasit, and Lidet Farmers Microfinance Institute. We also have partnership on TEF with Kasem Farmers Cooperative Union. The dairy with Evergreen, which is around Bahardar area. And also poultry with Chikomit Ethiopia. Vegetable, which we have started but was not going well because of the conflict in Oromia region with Awash Olana and Arbagugu Farmers Cooperative Union. So these are the second phase partnership, but since time didn't allow me to explain all this partnership, how the business ideas are evolved, we have some outputs from the two-scale partnership from the last 10 years. You can visit here what we have delivered, especially in relation to agriculture. So just some pictorial representations, and these are the intervention areas for two-scale. How can we address BOP marketing and distribution challenges? How can we develop entrepreneurship in private sector? And also agribusiness cluster formation in order to farmers access inputs, services, and extension. Youth employment, inclusive green innovations like how we can sustainably produce while making business from farm. Loyalty and supply chain coordination, which is lacking for most of the private companies, how to access raw materials for their companies, or even cooperatives, how to feed their factories. Some of our partnerships have factories established but don't have sufficient raw materials to source, so like the Sahai partnership. So supply chain and loyalty is a coordination is one of the interventions. Women economic empowerment is the other, and I think youth inclusion and financial inclusion are also something that we think of making around our partnerships. Okay. It's only back, for this one is only back. Oh, this is Sahai Farm Union partnership. You can see they have the factory, but they don't have the sufficient raw material, so we are been working on the productivity of the Niger seed as well as how they can coordinate on supplying enough quantity of raw material for the factory at Gondar. This is the Damascene partnership where we intervene on spice and herbs and how women empowerment could happen around that. This is a picture from Bench Maji Honey Farmers Cooperative Union. It's a honey partnership. Usually the honey production in the southwest Ethiopia is dominated by male, and it's also traditional. And it's forest-based, so it's making the backyard women inclusive, and also safe production of honey is something that we embarked as partnership with. The other business idea is Rasgaint beans, or the haricot bean shiro, making shiro from haricot beans, which is also an innovative idea in terms of nutritional content, also making shiro a bit cheaper than traditional ingredients. Oh, sorry. The other partnership with the Kasam on TEF, they also have this, although they are TEF producers, they are not getting sufficient quantity, or the traders chain is taking more of the benefits from the farmers, so making the cooperatives chain more vibrant is something we embarked on with Kasam, and we have linked them with the consumer cooperative in Addis Ababa and others. So this is Chico meat, also in Bishoftu on poultry. So this is how to make poultry affordable to base of the pyramid consumers as well as the people at large, so that people could get a benefit out of poultry meat. So the last one is a vegetable partnership with Awash Olana. As I told you, this partnership didn't go well because of security reasons. Thank you. This is how two-scale intervening. For any other questions, I will be here to respond, but you can also visit this table. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teka. We'll now proceed with the next segment of the program. And I'm happy to invite Eleni on board to speak more about Africa Fertilizer. Welcome, Eleni.
Okay, welcome our honorable guests. I am Lady Bsrat, working for Africa Fertilizer as a fertilizer market analyst. And I am here representing Africa Fertilizer Ethiopia. Before I proceed to the next step, I have to introduce Africa Fertilizer in the video. Please.
The Ethiopian Agricultural Businesses Corporation, EABC.
The Ethiopian Agricultural Businesses Corporation, EABC, is responsible for supplying agricultural inputs, including fertilizers, which are distributed to farmers through cooperatives and unions. Ethiopia's major food crops include teff, wheat, maize, sorghum, and barley, while its major cash crops are coffee, pulse.
Traditionally, Ethiopian farmers use nitrogen, urea, and phosphates, DAP, fertilizers. However, in 2013, there was a shift towards NP compound fertilizers, which include additional macronutrients like sulfur and micronutrients like zinc and boron. By 2015, this transition was complete, moving from urea DAP to urea NP compound fertilizer market. Interestingly, potassium-based fertilizers such as MOP, SOP, and NPK are imported by private companies in the horticultural sector for export production. At our 2024 Fertilizer Technical Working Group meeting in Ethiopia, it emerged that total fertilizer imports in 2023 were around 1.7 million metric tons, with NP compound fertilizers accounting for 959,000 tons and urea 765,000 tons. As a landlocked country, Ethiopia imports fertilizers through the port of Djibouti, transporting them by road to Ethiopia. In 2023, approximately 954,000 tons, which is 99.5% of all NP compound fertilizers, were imported from Morocco. Additionally, 66% of urea was imported from Egypt, 21% from Oman, 7% from China, and 6% from Nigeria. To better inform decision-making of the EABC during procurement plan preparations, the Fertilizer Technical Working Group was requested to find a way to monitor carryover stocks to avoid oversupply or delays in providing the right types of fertilizers for Ethiopian farmers. As a key milestone, EABC has reported saving 20 billion Ethiopian birr this procurement season, thanks to the Ministry of Agriculture's revised procurement directive. This new directive allows for procurement to begin 2 months earlier than usual and facilitates better price negotiations with suppliers using informed decision support tools.
Thank you for the video, but this is our success history, rather of what we are. Please introduce the AFO video. Okay. Let's go to the presentation. It's not open.
Please.
Heads of state and government was held. On the 12th of June 2006, the African Union Special Summit of the Heads of State and Government was held, where a 12 resolution framework dubbed the Abuja Declaration of Fertilizers for an African Green Revolution was adopted. It sought to guide the sub-Saharan African countries on the measures to take to improve soil health and revolutionize farming by increasing sustainable fertilizer use. Given the strategic importance of fertilizer in achieving an African green revolution to end hunger, the Abuja Declaration resolved to increase the use of fertilizer from 8 kilograms per hectare to an average of at least 50 kilograms of nutrients per hectare by 2015. One of the success stories to emerge from the summit was the birth of AfricaFertilizer.org, an initiative of the International Fertilizer Development Center, IFDC. AfricaFertilizer.org began its operations in 2009. Since then, the initiative has been fostering and coordinating partnerships and data sharing mechanisms to provide information on two main areas. First, fertilizer statistics in production, trade, consumption, price, production capacities, and use by crop. Second, fertilizer market intelligence, including fertilizer policies and regulations, subsidy programs, business and product directories, publications, and news. For the last 13 years, AfricaFertilizer.org has collaborated with global and regional partners, including the International Fertilizer Association, IFA, Argus Media, the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Development Gateway, and OCP on fertilizer market systems development in Africa. AfricaFertilizer.org has been providing statistics on fertilizer production capacities in the continent, trade and import statistics, national and regional fertilizer consumption figures, fertilizer prices at global, port, and retail level, and national fertilizer use by crop. AfricaFertilizer.org has also provided market intelligence on fertilizers to highlight fertilizer policies and regulations in various African markets, track fertilizer subsidy programs, contribute to business and product directories, and provide monitoring and early warning systems tools. Some of the notable milestones AfricaFertilizer.org has been able to achieve include development of specific country dashboards that are a one-stop shop for fertilizer market information, implementation of monitoring and early warning systems for fertilizer industry shifts, and provision of yearly validated fertilizer statistics across sub-Saharan Africa. AfricaFertilizer.org's data has been featured at high-level decision-making programs under the United Nations Global Crisis Response Group to inform fertilizer allocations in West Africa, the World Food Programme to advise member states on available inventories for sourcing into African markets, and the World Bank reallocating available fertilizer stocks to the most at-risk countries in Africa for the next season. To reflect our work that now stretches beyond our website, AfricaFertilizer.org is rebranding to Africa Fertilizer. While we may have a new look, our commitment to supporting data-driven decisions for African food systems remains as strong as ever. Join us. Together, we can help make the right policy and business decisions to feed the soils that feed Africa's people.
Yes, I think this video tells about Africa Fertilizer very well. So, as we see, Africa Fertilizer is a market information provider for decision makers, policy makers, and researchers we provide clear, relevant, and opportunity data for relevant stakeholders, especially for decision makers in the fertilizer industry. So I will continue my presentation. Yeah. If we introduce who we are, I continue to what we do in the past years. So Africa Fertilizer government and private sector through Fertilizer Technical Working Group. We create Fertilizer Technical Working Group since 2022. The Fertilizer Technical Group members are 22 in number, and these members are from private and public sectors, which enable us to perform effective collaboration, knowledge exchange, and information exchange between which help us to formulate strategy. So that enable us to provide on-time fertilizer in Ethiopia fertilizer industry. Also, we provide information for donors and commercial project implementations. We have different donors for Africa Fertilizer. One is the commercial project IFA, International Fertilizer Association. Also, USAID Feeds the Future, also another donor, with the objective of ensure food security in the country. So, also we on the dashboard, production, trade, on the fertilizer dashboard, the decision makers and researchers, policy makers can access it easily. So it we provide data and we laser some early warning tools of the affordability for farmers, and the other case, fertilizer market analysis and advisory service. We provide fertilizer market analysis and advisory services to the fertilizer industry through forecasting the demand, the price, the data help the private to come to Ethiopia fertilizer market and for other countries. This is africafertilizer.org link. You can access easily this dashboards. So you can select this country's dashboard and clicking on the flag or the country name. Currently, 8 fertilizer dashboards are existing, but we are working on 18 countries. They are 10 are under process to publish the dashboard on the website. We provide on the dashboard about the overall fertilizer trade, consumption price, import volume, and retail price. Also, the cost build-up also we provide on the price category. It helps for the decision maker how much fertilizer are imported in Ethiopia in the year. Also, the cost build-up helps to attract the business to the Ethiopian market. Also, for the policy makers, it helps for policy makers to revise some policies and to arrange some statements or figures for the future market trade in Ethiopia. You can easily access Africa Fertilizer website. This is a monitoring and early warning system. In this tool, you can mitigate the risk. Decision support system provide policymakers also the subsidy with information. If you see Ethiopia and Nigeria is in the red or in the moderate lag, because the fertilizer consumption and import volume is increased time to time since 2006 to now. This highlights the rate of affordability in Africa fertilizer. The availability of fertilizer in Ethiopia in other countries has covered 50 countries, and Africa fertilizer will have vision to expand to 30 to the next years. There was a published workshop here before we published this data. The published workshop is the data is validated by the fertilizer working group before we publish on the dashboard. And some figures here to show you how we validate on the workshop. So this is who we are and what we are doing in Ethiopia. Thank you. As a witness, we don't have the video, but we have Ambassador Dr. Melissa from Ministry of Agriculture. He is here representing the State Minister and the Import Department. Please say something about Africa Fertilizer as a partner. Mr. Kafle, the IFDC CEO, was here, but today is on the bid opening. He left us.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Melissa Batani. I'm from Ministry of Agriculture. I'm here on behalf of investments in the input sector or input lead executive. Up to now, we are working as a position. I'm working as a chemical input supply head, and up to now, we have a strong relation with African Fertilizer Technical Group. We are using effectively a dashboard which was already established last time. As I said, we are strongly, effectively working with this dashboard. I think if I want to explain some works which we have done last time, I think they are already support that to establish this a newly established directive which is used for us to supply fertilizers effectively and we have done a lot of works. Last year we have supplied fertilizers around 23 million quintals, and we have distributed around 60 million of these quintals. And this year we have already planned to supply 24 million quintals, and the government already allocated 156 billion Ethiopian birr and $1.3 billion for this. As I said, we are collaboratively working with this African Fertilizer Technical Group. I appreciate especially our sisters, Leonie and Dr. Abba too. Thank you very much.
Over to you.
Thank you very much to our AFA partner. Moving on now, kindly allow me to welcome our Soils Consortium project to make a presentation. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here to celebrate our 50th years anniversary. My name is Fagisa Olana. I work for IFDC as a soil fertility specialist, and now I'm going to present to you the USAID-funded Sustainable Opportunities for Improving Livelihoods with Soils Consortium, which abbreviated Soils C activities in Ethiopia. Our project was, the title was Targeting Fertilizer Sources and Rates in Ethiopia. Our goal is to generate and promote practical, profitable, and skill-appropriate soil and land use management technologies and recommendations for healthier and productive farming systems globally. We have 4 focus areas, which the 2 major focus areas are strengthening mineral fertilizer-based systems. In this, we promote balanced fertilization to improve nutrient use efficiency, access to and use of fertilizers. And we don't only focus on mineral fertilizers, and we also focus on integrated soil fertility management that helps farmers to use the locally available organic fertilizers with the mineral fertilizers. So we also focus on integrated soil fertility management also. And we have cross-cutting areas like the economics, policies, and the markets. In this case, we strengthen the enabling environment and validate soil fertility technologies across biophysical and socio-economic factors for optimal return. And also, we focus on data and knowledge management. We build data systems, collaborative learning, capacity building along knowledge transfer value chain, advocacy, and outreach. This is the Soils Consortium framework. In this framework, to obtain our goal, we use every available data sources that was done for our intervention areas. These are the soil data, the climate data, the vegetable, and all available data. We assess first which available data we have. For this, we used, for example, the ISRIC data and the soil maps, the SDA soil grids on hydrology to correlate land use, land, soil, water, and the crop recommendations. And then to fine-tune this recommendation, we collect the field level data from farmers' plots, like the soil texture, soil pH, the slope, plant cover, pest management, current crop management, the yield, and the like to fine-tune our recommendation. We do this for the priority areas that I mentioned before. And then to collect the data, we use every available tools, for example, the land potential knowledge system tool to collect the field level data. And our outcome is it's a guide targeting of soil health and land management innovations for integrated farming systems and validated soil fertility technologies and good agricultural practices for optimal economic return. So the first soils consortium work it was done in Ethiopia and Niger. These two countries are the focus countries. So our objective is to produce predictive models for responses to NPK, sulfur, zinc, and boron nutrients that improve the current fertilizer targeting using the critical values only. As you all, we use the Ethiosis as a base for our work because, as you remember, in Ethiosis project, the soil fertility atlas of the country was developed. So our base is Ethiosis. In Ethiosis, as you know, these fertilizers were recommended for as a whole for the whole agricultural areas in Ethiopia. But what they did is they collect the soil samples and then they analyze and they recommend these fertilizers based on the soil critical values only. But as you know, the crop response to fertilizer is not only based on the soil data. There are different factors, for example, rainfall, temperature, and the local variability response is a factor for a crop response to fertilizers. Therefore, what we did is we go to the farmer's plot, and then we studied this crop response, and then we validate the finding from Ethiosis. And the second one is validate and select the best ISFM practices. For this, we collect these variable soil analysis values, their landscape position, because landscape position has a great impact for fertilizer return, because the upper, the mid, and down slope has the same response for fertilizers. Therefore, we use the landscape position as one factor. The other one is soil classification, agroecology and environmental conditions, and the crop, because we are going to develop a different model for different crops. Our approach is ECRISAT and IFDC jointly set a treatment which focused on nutrient rate and the source. This was further harmonized with the AR, particularly with regard to omission treatment, because our approach and the AR approach was not the same initially, but still the harmonization was not 100% because the soil consortium treatment were based on the IFDC's experience in fertilizer formulation to choose the rates and the source of these fertilizers that were economically and commercially viable and could be realistically blended together. Yeah, the output, when I come to the output, the nutrient omission trials was conducted on 337 sites in 2020 and 2021, and 156 sites in 2022 in 3 major regions, 4 crops on teff, maize, wheat, and sorghum, both in high and low moisture regime areas. As you see on the map, the distribution of the woradas are on the major cereal producing woradas. We also did the ISFM activities to validate and select the best ISFM practices. For this one, we did on 24 sites. And we also did one activity to determine the rate of the trials with the Regional Agricultural Research Institute to determine the optimum nitrogen and phosphorus only. And then finally, the decision support tool, which is being developed by our national partner, AR. It is being developed. This is the final output of this activity, is that we communicate our results with extension workers, farmers, and the development agents finally. Regarding the socio-economic studies, we engaged 3 students to study the socio-economics of these trials. 2 MSc students and 1 PhD student was involved in this. And also training and workshops were organized. Planning, result sharing, and learning workshop conducted. Training on land PKS was provided for our national partners. And this decision support tool harmonization workshop also conducted. And crop modeling workshops, that means the DSAT training was also provided for our national partners. These are the key findings. As I said, both the landscape position and the treatment significantly affected crop yield, which varies among regions and the crops. And higher yields were obtained at all the sites from the foot slope compared with the mid and the heel slope position, because the foot slope position has fertile soil and the moisture, high moisture retention power. That's why we have higher crop response to the applied fertilizers compared to the other slope positions. And the grain yield advantage was 554 for teff, 230 kilogram per hectare for wheat, and 1,415 kilogram per hectare for sorghum from foot slope over the heel slope. In all crops and landscape position treatments with 150% means this 150% of the existing recommendation, government recommendation, gave higher yields followed by oil plus potassium. This means that it is an indication to revise the current fertilizer recommendation because it's not enough. So there were responses to sulfur, zinc, and boron at some locations also. These are our partners, the Ministry of Agriculture. And then actually we do this activity with ICRISAT, and then with the grassroots implementers are the Regional Agricultural Research Institute and the Ethiopian Institute of Agricultural Research. And Excellency in Agronomy, ISRIC, and SIAD are also our partners. The second activity is optimizing teff productivity with the low risk and high profit crop management recommendations, considering weather and soil variability. The objective of this activity is to optimize teff productivity by applying crop simulation models of DSAT and GSAT. Our approach is, the first approach is to calibrate the baseline model calibration and evaluation, and determination of the optimum nitrogen rate and the best planting windows with low risk and high profit using the model. And then there is partial simulation using GSAT also for this for woradas, the major teff producing woradas. The rationale behind this is, as you know, the farmer's field has a unique biophysical-chemical properties that influence crop yield, and we cannot do the experiment at all the locations because of its cost. So using this model is very important. So this resulted in inefficient fertilizer utilization, and
different chemical sources of nutrients or inclusion of additional nutrients to determine crop response. Small batches are needed to make all of the different fertilizer treatments for experimental evaluation. Blends that we make at a small scale can be duplicated in a blending facility so successful products can be rapidly pushed to the market. Let's discuss the basics of blending fertilizers. Blends are made from fertilizer granules, usually between 2 and 4 millimeters in diameter. Granules in this size range will not segregate during blending or subsequent transport. This assures a uniform product. Because of the various ingredients used in fertilizer blends, the granules may have different colors and shapes. Blending ingredients need to be compatible. Not all blending ingredients are compatible. Some will react chemically, while others will attract moisture and degrade the fertilizer blend in the coming weeks or months. Before blending, check ingredient compatibility using a fertilizer compatibility chart like the one illustrated from Fertilizers Europe. There are other fertilizer compatibility charts available through a web search. No chart has every potential ingredient, so you may need to look at several charts to identify your specific ingredient. Before we blend, we need to assure that our ingredients are in the correct size range. Some fertilizers may have degraded in storage and contain fine particles. These can be separated using a nylon screw. If a fertilizer has clumps in it, these need to be broken off. If fine particles result from breaking, then these also need to be sieved. Incorporating micronutrients into blends poses specific challenges. Micronutrients are nutrients that are vital to crop growth but are required in very small quantities, often less than 1 kilogram per hectare. If supplied as micronutrient granules, only a few micronutrient granules will be applied. This reduces the possibility of root interception and plant uptake. To resolve this problem, micronutrient powders can be coated onto fertilizer granules. This assures that wherever fertilizer granules are applied, micronutrients will also be applied. We will demonstrate how to coat micronutrients onto granular fertilizer. Micronutrient-coated blends will give crop responses very similar to compound fertilizers of the same composition. A compound fertilizer is one in which every granule contains uniform concentration of all nutrients. Compared to blends, compound fertilizers are more uniform in color and size. Fine granular and crystalline ingredients are not appropriate for blending. They will separate from granules and are too large to adhere to granules as coatings. Several micronutrients are commonly available as crystalline products. Do not use these in your formulation. You may be able to grind these down to a fine powder appropriate for coating using a blender or other grinding equipment. Before we begin blending, we must first calculate the quantities of ingredients that go into blends. For the purposes of this video, we will not go into detail regarding ingredients calculation. You will, however, need to follow these 6 steps. 1. Decide the rate of nutrients you want to apply per hectare. This includes nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, zinc, boron, and others. 2. Choose the fertilizer ingredients you want to use. For example, DAP, MAP, NPS, KCl, polysulfate, urea, zinc sulfate, cuprous oxide, or any other. 3. Check ingredient compatibility using a compatibility chart. 4. Calculate the rate of each fertilizer ingredient to achieve the application rate for each nutrient. 5. Calculate the total area that you want the formulation to cover for all sites in your trial or demonstration. 6. Calculate the quantity of each fertilizer blend ingredient as the product of steps 4 and 5 above. The effective rate of micronutrients required depends on whether micronutrients are applied as coated powders or as granular micronutrients. Typical micronutrient rates for agronomic crops when coated are 0.2 to 0.4 kilograms of boron or copper per hectare, 0.5 to 1.5 kilograms of zinc, manganese, or iron per hectare. If using granular micronutrients, use 2 to 4 times these rates. Rates will vary depending on the particle size and the chemical form, for example, sulfate, oxide, or chelate. Get advice from commercial suppliers of micronutrient coating material when developing your blend. Now, let's get down to the business of mixing fertilizer blends. When blending 10 kilograms or more, we will use a small cement mixer. When blending less than 10 kilograms, a plastic bucket with a sealable or screw-tight lid is most convenient. We prefer electric cement mixers because they are reliable, easy to maintain, and come in a variety of sizes. A petrol or diesel cement mixer may be a good choice if electric power is not available. These mixers are high maintenance but also have a larger volume. First, weigh out the quantities of fertilizer ingredients you have calculated using a balance of the correct precision. Next, place the granular ingredients into the cement mixer. Check to see that the granular ingredients are mixing well. Fertilizers of different colors should be uniformly distributed. If not uniformly distributed, increase the tilt of the mixing drum. Allow granular ingredients to mix until the mixture is visibly uniform. This should take less than a minute. If all of your ingredients are granular, your blending is complete and you are ready to move the blended fertilizers to bags for further weighing. To coat fertilizer granules with micronutrient powders, we will first coat the fertilizer granules with an adhesive product which will bind the fertilizer powders to the micronutrients. A dedicated fertilizer adhesive product can be obtained from a manufacturer. If not easily accessible, a vegetable oil can work sufficiently well to hold the micronutrients in place for the short term. The amount of adhesive or vegetable oil should be about 35 to 40% of the weight of all of the micronutrient powders. For example, if you have 1,000 grams of micronutrient powders in a mixture, you will require 350 to 400 milliliters of adhesive or vegetable oil. First, tilt the drum upward. Add the adhesive or vegetable oil used to stick the micronutrients to the granules. The upright position is advised to prevent the adhesive product from contacting the tines of the mixer. After the adhesive has been added, tilt the drum and activate the rotation. This will allow the granular ingredients to mix and the adhesive product to evenly coat all the granules. This should require less than a minute. To add the micronutrient powder after adding the adhesive product, stop the mixer. Dig a small hole into the granular fertilizer. Then place the micronutrient powders in the hole and cover. Place a clear plastic cover over the opening of the cement mixer, which is held in place by magnets. The plastic cover can have a hole in the center of about 6 inches or 15 centimeters in diameter to permit addition of more adhesive if required. The plastic cover limits the loss of micronutrient dust as the mixer turns. Protective gear should include a dust mask, gloves, and overalls. The dust mask is important to prevent dust inhalation, particularly of the micronutrient ingredients. Activate mixing for an additional minute. Then check your mixture to be sure that no powders have segregated and are at the bottom of your cement mixer. You can either empty the fertilizer into a large basin and then into a fertilizer bag or directly into a fertilizer bag. It's important to avoid spillage to assure that you have sufficient fertilizer for all of your plots. It helps to work in teams of 2 to avoid spillage. Placing a plastic sheet underneath the cement mixer can allow for easy collection of any spilled product. If you are blending 10 kilograms or less, you can use a bucket with a strong seal. Add the granular fertilizer ingredients and adhesive or oil, then rotate until the adhesive is well distributed and the granular fertilizers are well mixed. Then add micronutrient powders and rotate for about a minute. A clear bucket allows easy viewing to assure that the fertilizer is well mixed. Fertilizer ingredients and blends need to be properly stored. Fertilizer ingredients and blends need to be stored in airtight bags with intact plastic lining. The bags should not allow air to enter. While fertilizers come in bags with plastic liners, often the inner liner will tear. After the liner is torn, fertilizers will absorb moisture from the air and degrade. We will often transfer fertilizer ingredients and blends to sealed containers or sealed plastic bags to ensure that moisture cannot enter. We have found that grain storage bags, which have a thick plastic lining, resist tears and are a good way to store blended fertilizers and fertilizers from opened or torn fertilizer bags. After blending, weigh fertilizers into quantities for each plot. We prefer reusable plastic containers. Masking tape is good for container labels because it sticks well but is also easy to remove for container recycling. Fertilizer blends are easy to make. When you can make your own blend, you can test different nutrient ratios, add micronutrients, or try new ingredient sources cost-effectively and without waste. The best performing blend can easily be transitioned into commercial production.
We have heard presentation by Faisa. By the way, he's a PhD student. Many of the things which was presented is all about formulation, some lab techniques. So we at IFDC, we even before we go into inputs, we say, like as part of the value chain, we say things has to start from laboratory. So you start with lab and then you have the inputs and then it goes on. That's how the value chain continues. There is like a slight change in the timetable. We may give 20 minutes presentation, 20 to 25 presentation to our partner who will come to present on digital soil mapping. But to wrap up the previous sessions, you have seen in brief, what two-scale program is. It's like market-oriented project. It's all about agribusiness. It's about working with incubators. It's like it works with business champions in a different model. We also have seen AFO, African Fertilizer. This is digital platform. By the way, it contributes to the digital strategy we have. As we continue to progress in development sector, digitization would continue. So even in agriculture sector, this could be a step. By the way, within the value chain, digital platform is this. AFO as a digital platform is part of the solution. We don't say the fertilizer supply chain we have is efficient. There are still other solutions which should come as a new project to make the supply chain more innovative, so that supply of fertilizer would be on time, in good quantity. Even along with this, as IFDC, we believe technical capacity building has to be provided for farmers to provide to supply fertilizers at right time, at right place, from the right source in a required amount. So that's how we try to come with a good scientific approach to come with profitability. the last presentation which was given by Faisal goes with Soil Consortium, Space to Play. These are two elements of the project funded by USAID. It dealt more with, coming with integrated soil fertility management, ISFM, where we try to, bring different practices, not only fertilizer, but also improved seeds, water management practices, and so on. So these are like climate smart practices, and we believe it contributes to mitigation of climate challenge. In a way, he was mentioning of improved land management. So it is like what we do at scale. So we had partners who have worked with us, EIR and CG centers. Now let me call upon Ashanafi, Dr. Ashanafi or Kiflu to come on board and present to us digital soil mapping practices. But I should make a remark over here. Like ISRIC, Netherlands-based knowledge institution, and IFDC has slightly supported this project. And in 2025, we continue to support the digital soil mapping. But one remark, this is like a project which started before years, even when some of us were at ATI. And I hope you all recall, it was like back in 70s or 80s that FAO mapped Ethiopian soil. It's like at a larger scale. So we want to come with more refined, detailed data so that, decision making would be better. So when Kiflu presents for us, please note that donors have invested a lot from the time when ATI has been working in digital soil mapping, and it went on, and so we are at a stage now. So this doesn't mean end of the thing. So there are still need for capacity building, need for validating data, need for coming with multi-layer soil data and so on. So Kiflu, may you come upon.
Thank you, Dr. Ababa. First of all, on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, Soil Resource Development Lead Executive Office, I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations on your 15th anniversary and wishing you a continued success on the years to come for IFDC staff as well as partners. I, together with my colleague Ashanafi, will present the Ethiopian National Soil Information System enhancement project, which is mainly focused on identifying or exploring the constraints as well as opportunity of our soil resource in order to address environmental and societal challenges, including soil degradation, soil fertility, depletion. My name is Kiflu from Ministry of Agriculture, working as Head of Soil Survey and Mapping Division. Okay, as you all know, Ethiopia is characterized by complex landscape and diverse ecosystem. Therefore, we need a site-specific soil management intervention in order to improve the soil fertility status as well as to reclaim the health of the soils. Therefore, our vision is to be an African benchmark in order to have a comprehensive and reliable digital soil information system so as to enhance quality, accessibility, and usability of digital soil information systems for sustainable agricultural and food system transformation in our country at various skills. The Ethiopian National Soil Information System has different components. The first one is generating a standard soil data for range of users. And in order to ensure a standardized soil data, we need to have a harmonized methods. Therefore, the second component of our project is having an harmonized method. And the third one is having ICT infrastructure and system in order to generate a high quality, high resolution digital soil information system for wide range of system. In order to ensure data sharing across data providers or data generators with collaboration of our partners, we have prepared and approved the soil data governance called Soil Data Management Use and Sharing Directive, which is approved by Ministry of Justice. And the fifth and sixth components are establishing a model soil archive and building the capacity of our staffs. So our journey is towards GLOSIS, that is Global Soil Information System, which is a federation of national soil information system in order to exchange interoperable data sets for various purposes. So national soil information systems, including Ethiopian soil information system, is a country node for this global soil information system. Therefore, in order to be part of the global soil information systems, the national soil information system should adopt the global soil standard framework. We have already started our long journey towards this global node. Some of our landmarks or milestones are the launch of ETOSIS, the famous Ethiopian Soil Information System, established at ATA in 2012. With this project, we have collected, analyzed thousands of soil samples across the country and prepare soil fertility status as well as fertilizer recommendation map and atlas. In 2017, we have launched the National Soil Information System in order to centrally manage both ETOSIS data as well as data or legacy data gathered from different sources. In 2022, based on legacy data, we have generated and updated the FAO UNESCO soil type map of Ethiopia, and we revised that soil type map. I will show you the deliverable. And the last one is the launch of the Ethiopian National Soil Information System Enhancement Project implemented by IFDC, USAID, and ISRIC in collaboration with our ministry. Some of our key achievements during this long journey is data and information generation. As I mentioned earlier, after the launch of ETOSIS, we gathered thousands of soil information systems across the country, and using state-of-the-art technologies and machine learning models, we produced map of both micronutrients and macronutrients, including the ones that mentioned by Fayesa. And finally, we produced soil fertility status and fertilizer recommendation atlas for regions. And we already handed over the atlas. The second deliverable is the legacy soil profile data gathered from different sources in order to update the national soil class map of Ethiopia. We have already produced soil resource atlas of Ethiopia. In that you will have a chance to explore the components of the atlas. The output of the atlas and map already published in EU Soil Sphere for national and international community. The second deliverable in National Soil Information System is establishment of the job portal and data sharing directive. The job portal can be accessed with nsis.moa.gov.et. By using this job portal, you can access ETIOSIS tabular data as well as grid-based raster data set for Ethiopia. And we have also produced or prepared a national soil and agronomy data management using sharing directive in order to ensure fair data principles, because data should be findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable for wide range of users. So we have a job portal, ICT infrastructure, and also we have a system document for facilitating data sharing mechanisms. Sorry. Also, we have been achieving some deliverables. There are some gaps that we want to collaborate with our esteemed development as well as knowledge partners in order to address both environmental and societal challenges of our community. The first challenge is related to data. We have in the country inconsistent and incomplete data sets, and there is a duplication of efforts. There is a limited utility or usability of existing soil data for range of purposes, such as data-driven, crop-specific, and customized solution to benefit and positively impact our farmers. The second challenge is related to systems and methods. There is a lack of comprehensive systems, which is dynamic and interactive. There is also an inconsistent and fragmented approach. So we want to integrate existing agricultural and environmental information systems with spatial distinction support tools with our Ethiopian National Soil Information System to benefit our farmers. And the third challenge related to capacity gaps. There is a lack of long-term capacity building, staff turnover, and soil lab capacity, because we want to sustain our previous efforts to address the food security and environmental challenges. And the last one is funding. So we, as a Ministry of Agriculture, want to work closely with our partners, including IFDC, USAID, and knowledge partners, ISRIC, in order to realize our vision. So we want to work together, work a joint resource mobilization. Next, our colleague Ashanafi will present the Ethiopian National Soil Information System project components. Thank you.
Okay, good morning everyone. Thank you, Mr. Kiflu. Just for the interest of time, I will follow the presentation. So my name is Ashanafi Ali. I work for the enhancement of the National Soil Information System project, which is owned and managed by the Ministry of Agriculture, ISRIC, IFDC, and USAID. So as presented by Mr. Kuflu, so we started long journey and we have identified gaps. And also we are expected to meet global soil information standards. So to fill the gaps and also meet global standards, we have set an enhancement project together with ISRIC, IFDC, and USAID. And then this project is launched in January 2024. So I will quickly, take you through the project components and also communicate with the current status. So the project has two phases, and phase 1 and phase 2. And phase 1, we call it inception phase, and we are in inception phase now. And then it lasts for about 1 year, and the second phase, which we call it implementation phase, is supposed to last for 3 years, 3 plus 1 year. And then when we come to the inception phase, it has 3 components, which is definitely project launching, assessment requirement assessment, and the scoping mission. So we conducted also the knowledge exchange mission with ISRIC. And then the second project component under phase 1 is development of spatial database and data workflows. And then the third activity under this component is integration of digital soil collection forms and apps, because for previous legacy data sets, we are working to harmonize and standardize different data sets and produced by different projects within different formats. But to support the upcoming new soil survey missions, we are planning to integrate digital data collection app within the NISIS platform. And then under phase 2, which is in the coming 3 plus 1 year, we expect to develop enhanced metadata documentation that fits with the global standard. And we are also planning to really develop interactive and dynamic geoportal to serve wide soil data users at the national level as well as at the international level. And also we are planning to integrate different decision support tools, just as previously presented by Faisa, and also there are different national and international initiatives to develop decision support tools. So one of the input for those tools is reliable and dependable soil data. So we are planning to integrate the NISIS with the various decision support tools. And definitely to ensure sustainability, we have a plan to really capacitate the ministry staff to ensure sustainability of the National Soil Information System. And additionally, we are planning also to indicate a kind of KPI indicators within the system. And then just to give you a kind of a brief update on the current status of the project, just we have started to implement ISO soil data model, and we already finalized standardization of the Zen ETOSys topsoil data set. And then we have also develop a kind of metadata data dictionary, because legacy data sets, most of the legacy data sets that we have at the national level, they lack metadata, or what we call it data dictionary. So we are also already progress in that aspect and start to produce interpreted products. And then we are also adapting and customizing a digital data collection app, and it's now currently under testing phase. And then when you come to DSM workflow, to develop site-specific, dependable, or reliable soil spatial information system, we need to have a reproducible digital soil mapping workflow. For this, we already adopted ISRIC 3D DSM workflow and embedded into the NISIS system, and we have started to develop different soil spatial products. And then, for instance, currently we do have the first ever 3D soil acidity map of Ethiopia, in combination with pH, exchangeable acidity, and extractable aluminium. And then to fill also our capacity gaps, we conducted a knowledge exchange mission, and we plan also to really to secure resource, to capacitate our human resource. And we already explored long-term capacity building opportunities, and we have prepared a concept note for that in collaboration with ISRIC. So we are planning also to mobilize resources in this regard. And then for the implementation phase, as I indicated, also we, in parallel with the project activities, we are working, to mobilize resource for the implementation phase of the project. So you can explore the NISIS enhancement project through this link, or at the lunchtime, we can take you through the project webpage as well as a NISIS platform. To give you a kind of a quantitative information with respect to data, so far, we standardize the Zen ETOC's topsoil data sets as per the ISO standard, and now within the coming 1 month, we are planning to release, the version 2 of ETOC's topsoil data set along with the standard metadata and dictionary. So this is one of the achievements, and it's almost near to completion or near to final stage, and so very soon we will have version 2 of ETOC's topsoil products through the NISIS platform. And we are working on the second big data set of NISIS, which is the confluence point data set. So we have completed some of the activities in that regard. And then we are also working to make the coalition of the winning data sets that we normally call it legacy soil profile data set. So up to January, we are planning also to release these 2 data sets through the NISIS platform. And as part of, in parallel of standardization of data, as I indicated, we adapted the 3D digital soil mapping workflow in NISIS platform. So we developed, the first ever 3D soil acidity map of Ethiopia, which is in combination with pH, mercury, extractable aluminium, and also exchangeable acidity. So using DSM workflow that involves point data set as well as environmental covariates, which is very close to 206 environmental covariates. So this is the intermediary product of 3D soil pH map of Ethiopia along with exchangeable acidity and extractable aluminium maps. And then don't take this information as final, but it may change because still we are not finalizing, standardization of data. So we disaggregated, soil acidity classes per region and per woreda. So to demonstrate with you, so demonstration of how we really combine different properties, and come up with site-specific and dependable soil acidity map per woreda. So we disaggregated the woreda based on pH and then later by exchangeable acidity. So this information is provided to the ministry extension system, to prioritize areas for one cropping season. So this is almost one of the use cases that how we can really apply data and information to support various decision support systems at the national level. So, and to meet global standard and as well as to fill our gaps, still we require partnership, partnership and collaboration. And we have identified areas of collaboration, to meet global standards in terms of up-to-date and high-resolution data generation and the implementation of ISO standard data model, and also development of time series data to monitor, soil health, across various years. And then we need also partnership and collaboration for NISIS enhancement implementation phase tasks. And then we are planning also to cascade NISIS, because as NISIS as a platform is expected to serve, other
public institutions who are which are mainly engaged in soil data generation and soil data stewardship. So in that regard also we need collaboration and partnership. And to ensure sustainability of the system, we are planning to really have a long-term capacity building, and we have identified areas of specialization to push NISIS to the next level. Specifically, we need long-term capacity building in the area of pedometrics, digital soil mapping, soil information system. So in this area also we need collaboration. So to have also quality data, we need to have a reference soil laboratory at the national level. So still in that regard, NISIS as an anchor project, we have a plan to strengthen soil labs at federal and regional levels. So in this area also we need partnership and collaboration. And then as part of, to play a kind of a coordination role, among various soil data originators and data stewards, we are planning also to strengthen almost I would say to reinitiate the Ethiopian Society of Soil Science, so that we can ensure, that flow of data coming to the NISIS portal. So in this regard also we need partnership and collaboration. So in general, we need also joint resource mobilization and strengthen partnership for full implementation of NISIS project and meet, its vision goal and to meet the international standard. So as a final remark, it's good to indicate, the enabling environment, I would say, or success factors we can call it, because NISIS started, its journey long time ago, as Dr. Ababa indicated, so its inception from ETOCs and then to the current stage. So the enabling factors involves with, you can take it as strategic planning by the then ATA, by the now ATI, and with the Ministry of Agriculture. At that time they started by really identifying systemic bottlenecks and prioritize those bottlenecks. And then also we can take as the government commitment, as also enabling factor, because through ATA and the Ministry of Agriculture, even at that time they institutionalized NISIS by establishing not only a project, by opening new two soil directorates at the Ministry of Agriculture. So that was also a very good enabling environment. And then the approach we followed, which is with our partners, which is mainly co-design and co-development approach, that also contributes a lot. And we have involved also stakeholder engagement, individuals, institutions, including the coalition of the will. That also contributes a lot to our current status. And then, as I indicated, the partnership with our national, international development and knowledge partners and donors have contributed a lot to the success. And then we are very grateful to those development partners that you see, the logos are presented there. So, and currently, through their support, we reached somewhere, and we have identified gaps, and we are expected to reach international standard. So now, by now, we are at the stage of enhancement project. That project is being supported by Ministry of Agriculture, ISRIC, IFDC, and USAID. So we are grateful to those consortium members of this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ashanafi. I think from the presentation, what we learned is someone may start back before years, someone. So this was like an effort which started heavily with ATI. So by then, I think there were multi-donor funding, including USAID, World Bank, and others who have invested in the project. I think BMJF has also contributed substantially to this project. It went on and has been now institutionalized. So it's at the hand of Ministry of Agriculture. So is that the end? No. is because there is staff turnover. You need to build continuously capacity of staff. Data has to be, updated. So things goes on that way. Even out of what was presented, many of the data we have is mainly physical and chemical property, wet chemistry data. Don't we need biological data if we talk of soil health? So that's how it goes on. Now, data alone doesn't make a yield, cannot increase yield. So this has to reach to farmer. So we should support even farmers, so this information has to reach farmers. So this may, require concerned effort. So that's a kind of remark which we can make. Before we go to cake cutting, because we are here to celebrate the 15th anniversary, before we go to that, it would be wise to listen to some of us, because even me, I joined IFDC before 2 years. So it's like, I can say I might have stayed like for 3 years. But there are staffs who have served IFDC prior I joined. So we have a staff over there. What can he say to us on what he has done with IFDC too? We would like to hear from him, just as a witness, because at least he has worked with a project by then. I think it was USAID funded, and it was a project led by ACDI Boca. We would give an opportunity to him first. But still we have, different partners, development partners, mainly from private sector. We have co-op members. So we have people from Kasam Union, and, we can pick two of, our partner, and Chikomit. So let's just hear on what they have done and how what they have done has reached the community in some way. So having listened to them, we would go to cake cutting. For that, we would invite our donors who are represented here, USAID and EKN. We'll call on government experts or officials which are represented here, and IFDC staff. So that's how we proceed. So you may introduce yourself, and you may tell us what you have done with the project which was funded by USAID as IFDC staff.
Thank you, Dr. Ababa. My name is Shamsul Waisa. I'm a specialist for Feed the Future, USAID Ethiopia Transforming Agriculture. During the first AGP Agricultural Growth Program, SDI Voca was the prime implementer for agriculture market development. During then, IFDC was subcontract to really introduce the blended fertilizer concept. As you remember, in 1950s, FAO advised for Ethiopia to use, DAP, diammonium phosphate, as a recommended fertilizer. After 15 years, that the blended fertilizer concept really introduced to Ethiopia, because others micronutrients need for crop growth. So the IFDC scientists, the IFDC scientists we tested the soil samples, and finally we come up with that. So almost 96% of the sample polling from different parts of Ethiopia shows that sulfur is deficient. So from DAP now we shift to the NPS as fertilizer. Then the other micronutrients born in the zinc also reach a major part of in general, in collaboration of ATA, we tried to develop 6 formula of fertilizer.
What was the weakest point of that formula was, the critics is that it doesn't address the soil acidity problem. Based on that critics, OCP nowadays have developed blended fertilizer, which is customized for acid soil, especially for wheat, malt barley, wheat and maize, as well as teff. Currently, we are working on this popularization of the newly developed blended fertilizer, which is customized for acid soils. Now we are scaling up in 4 regions, in Oromia, in Sidama, Central Ethiopia, and Southeast Ethiopia. Last 2 weeks before, we organized a big field day, which we really introduced this technology. And really, it was amazing that it's a promising product that really enhances the Ethiopian wheat productivity. It's the national average productivity of wheat is only 3 tons, but in the field we have really estimated to obtain about 6 tons. That's double. So in Ethiopia, 1.7 million hectares of land is really covered with wheat. Annually we are losing about $3.3 billion only from wheat. When compared to the maize, the national average productivity of maize is only 4 tons, and now we are planning really with this blended fertilizer to reach 10 tons per hectare. The yield difference is about 60 quintals. In Ethiopia, we are producing maize on 3.5 million hectares of land. Mind you, we are losing per year about $7.7 million per year. So still the fertilizer use in Ethiopia is very minimal. The world average is 135 kg per hectare. In Africa, you are on 18 kg per hectare. The Abuja declaration is to really attain 50 kg per hectare. Unfortunately, we couldn't really achieve our goal. But the current Ethiopian fertilizer utilization, on average, last year we have really calculated, and it's about 69 kg per hectare. And of course, it surpassed the Nairobi declaration, which said about 50 kg per hectare, and still we are in better position. But still we need to work more on utilization of mineral fertilization, because it's about 1 billion of the world population may be starved because of underutilization of this mineral utilization. Because as we know, there are about 17 plant nutrients. Out of the 17, 14 nutrients are really we are going to use from soil. The soil we get from water and air. So we need to really use the 14 essential nutrients, which we are really using from the soil. We need to supplement with mineral fertilizer. Otherwise, we are going to really face a great challenge, because the world population is growing and the alarming number of mouths need to be really get food. So IFDC, in addition to its research, I really like to advise to focus on production of green ammonia, because we import urea, especially from Egypt. As you said, 60% of urea is imported from Egypt. What does that mean? Because 56% of the urea which produced from abroad is the filler. Only 46% which are used for our plant. Still, what we use in small granule is very challenging, because urea it's very unmanageable. One characteristic is highly volatile, and it will leach down and run off. So with IFDC, USG, urea supergranules, we have introduced in Ethiopian agriculture, but we could not really scale up and scale out that technology. So the green ammonia is the key activities that really intervene in Ethiopian agriculture, because we do have, Ethiopia is, the home of hydroelectric power. The nitrogen, 75% of the nitrogen is really available free of charge. So we can use our water for hydrogen. So we release oxygen and we use hydrogen and we produce ammonia that really environmentally friendly and economically contribute for the agricultural growth in Ethiopia. So in general, really I'm very happy for working at IFDC and have learned a lot from IFDC, and I'm still practicing what I have learned from IFDC in different parts of the project in Ethiopia. So I am really to get in touch with the newly joined IFDC staff, and I am also happy really to avail myself in this very great event, and I am also happy to work in the future with IFDC and other partners. Thank you very much.
So there are like slow release, especially granulated fertilizers are slow release. Urea can be easily leached. Those technologies, looking for nano fertilizers, these are like innovative aspects. Organomineral, which I previously have mentioned. So I think this is at the agenda of our scientists at HQ also. But we at grassroots level, we want to promote. So there are already available proven technology, urea deep placement, which are being widely used in West Africa. So these are some of the things which we would like to promote even in the country. Having heard what he said, yeah, acidity is also a major agenda. The government has what is called Bonga Declaration. It's affecting significantly, like close to 3 million Ethiopian smallholder farmers. So it's a vast area. It accounts, say, to 40% of the total area, but highly acidic areas are close to 30% of Ethiopian highlands. So what does that mean? These are like highly productive area where we have rain. Most of our production is like rain-fed. So these are focus areas which we could jointly work with government in future. Having said this, let's listen to like our partners. So let me give an opportunity to Kasam Union. What was done? Can you just tell us briefly what was done, what was achieved? In fact, we already had a presentation. So let's listen first to you, and then we have Chikomit. So you would turn the speaker to him. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Ahmad Kalezodu from Kasam Farmer Cooperative Union. The last 5 years, Kasam Union work with IFDC to scale as a partnership. Cooperative in Ethiopia does not compete with other private sectors, especially IFDC first identify the gap, the farmers, the cooperative, and the PC. What is the gap? So IFDC, the last 5 years work with Kasam Union in the area of capacity building, Kasam Union, especially market linkage leadership. Union led by the voluntary farmers. The farmers represent with General Assembly. They lead without business knowledge. So how to lead the board member cooperatives to scale, fill the gap of the farmer cooperative. Also, the management team Kasam Union does not enough knowledge about the business skill and the leadership skill. IFDC also fills the gap of the leadership and the business skill. Also, we work together with the youth and the women job opportunity. In the area of, I show the photo before, Injera Bakery. Injera in Ethiopia is a common food. We also supply different input to our farmer to increase productivity. Seed multiplication is a main activity for increasing productivity. Without seed, we can't increase the productivity. Also chemical. We supply chemical for our farmers, artificial and natural fertilizers. Faisa also introduced in our area vermicompost. Vermicompost in Minjar Shankora Warada. Currently, a lot of people use this vermicompost for increasing their productivity. Before, primary cooperative led by uneducated voluntary service, but currently the primary cooperative lead with professional leaders. So primary cooperative also compete with other private sector currently. Also, we make market linkage with Addis Ababa Cooperative Union. In Addis Ababa, there is around 10 consumer union. We collect quality of teff from our member, around 40,000 smallholder farmers we have. We collect this teff from our farmer and supply different consumer union in Addis Ababa, Hawassa, Debre Birhan, also Adama consumer union. We supply quality of teff in BOP consumer, especially here in Addis Ababa. The consumer purchasing capacity is different. Some people need high quality, some people medium, but Kasam Union supply teff with affordable price according to their needs. The last 5 years, at beginning in 2019, Kasam Union lost 2 million birr. But after 4 years, 2022, Kasam Union get net profit 48 million birr. Also, the Kasam Union capital at 2019 around 14 million, but 2022 Kasam Union around more than 170 million birr capitals. Also, Kasam Union take land to build food process factory around 7,285 square meters take from land. around 100,000 million capitals. So in the future, we try to build this food process factory, but currently there is a challenge in security in our area. It is the main challenges in our area. Generally, Kasam Union got a lot of experience from IFDC by capacity building. Also get a new technology, thresher, also introduced thresher mechanization service to supply our farmers in affordable price to our farmers. Also, more than 1,000 young and women create job opportunity in our area. It is not only our effort, it is also the advisor support of IFDC. So I say thanks to IFDC to scale in Ethiopia, especially for achieving Kasam Union successful result and sustainability. Thank you.
By the way, like if TUSCALE has stayed for over a decade, it started in 2011, a lot can be said. Some of the materials displayed over there can tell you also a lot. We still have, other partners who can potentially say a lot, like SNP. And I know Dambalash is with us, and he has done a lot in promoting seed multiplication with Harikot being in Amhara area. Even BOPEC, as a partner, they have helped cooperatives in promoting software, using digital software so that they can track their activity. We'll have last two remarks. We'll listen to Chikomit, which would be followed by a remark from Addis, who has served IFDC for almost a decade. So it won't be good if we leave this room without, listening to what he says, because he has regional perspective. So may I give the opportunity to Chikomit? Thank you. You may introduce yourself.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brahanu. I am the general manager for Chikomit. I think as part of the inclusive agribusiness, I'm excited to be here to say a few words about ourselves and then what we are doing with our partners. First, for those who might not know who we are our company named Chikomit is we are farmers, and then we are chicken meat processors. That means we have established ourselves in adding value into chicken meat, the end-to-end process. We add value means we have a value chain to manage, and then in that value chain we play a role in managing the value chain economically, socially, and then environmentally. I think that's where we mainly collaborate with TUSCALE SNV to help us, triangulate ourselves, not only focusing on profit making, but also doing environmental and social impacts. And then we have been doing this for a couple of years now. And then I think what we have achieved so far, one of our biggest strengths has been we work with we call them outgrowers. We work with small-scale farmers. We give them, their old chicks, and then they raise the chicken, and then they provide back to us. And then we have almost 40 plus outgrowers which are cooperating with us. And then the journey has been quite fantastic because we use their capacity, we share risks with them, and then we provide them demand, they provide us, they provide their capacity to us, and then they have been really useful elements to our production, especially in terms of inputting our production. And then we learn a lot in that journey as well. We mainly work with ToScale to facilitate this in order to identify and then capacitate them to standard where we can mutually work. Now, as we go along, we don't want to limit ourselves only doing with quite a number of house growers. We want to diversify ourselves into reaching out more, base of pyramid beneficiaries. I think in the recent pipeline, we wanted to start household farming for loyal chicken, that any household can take few day chicks from us, and then either they want to use it for themselves or they want to resell for us. So we want to go below the farming capacity into household. So we've been planning this with ToScale team. Ababa has been busy getting the information, providing us with all of the technical details and all that. And then we want to try that. We want to go below the farming, small scale farming into a household if we want to address more. And then we have products for sale, and then those products in our portfolio are not always the same, so we want to provide affordable products for small scale business owners, especially in the food chain, people who are interested in doing business with us, in doing fast food, and then use chicken as their input. And then we have crafted like an affordable portfolio that can be supplied to them so they can operate their business. This could be directly done with us, directly buying from us, or we also work with meat processors. If they take our input and then they process, they can provide a nice processed meat that can be input for fast food or small scale entrepreneurs. I think 2025 is going to be more exciting for us because we'll have additions to our business idea that we run currently now, and then we are in that planning journey. Maybe one last remark about our role in the environment. Some work has been done already with SNV team, with Demalash and his team. As well, we expand ourselves in terms of our business. In the meantime, we manage our environmental carbon footprint and all that. So we are having more partners even through them for us to enable ourselves grow, and then our contribution towards our economic, environmental, and social responsibilities go in more depth, and then we can make it more wide. So in summary, I could say the journey so far has been very exciting as we work with many partners, mainly driven by the effort from ToScale and team, and then the future is becoming more exciting for us because we are adding new ideas, new partners in the journey. And thank you very much.
Thank you. He was trying to tell us like how smallholder farmers can be clustered and can be linked with a business partner to help promote their, productivity and increase their access to increase their income. One point which I should say, what I heard from our CEO, when ToScale was designed, the initial commitment was like close to 62 million euro, and IFDC was asked to contribute, to come with additional equivalent amount of money, so that private sector involvement could be real. So different projects have different approaches. This is also really one approach to promote a private sector. Excuse me, Addis, you would I should let you speak because you have been with TwoScale and he works in over 10 countries. So let's hear lastly from you before we go to cake cutting. Thank you.
Okay, Ben. Should I say good morning or good afternoon? My name is Addis Teshoman. As Abebe said, I work for IFDC in the TwoScale program. I've been with the organization for 11 years. So I'm working now as Deputy Program Director of the TwoScale program. Prior to that, I've served in different positions within IFDC. So that's not really relevant here. What I can say about IFDC is we got registered in Ethiopia as international. Am I okay now? Okay. So we got registered as international NGO in Ethiopia in 2015. But IFDC's presence in Ethiopia predates before that registration as international organization. So we had our first engagement in Ethiopia through a capacity building support to the Ministry of Agriculture and then the Cooperative Promotion Agency. So that is in the early 20s. So that was mainly on building some capacity of cooperatives. So that was a kind of TS service that IFDC provided to the ministry. And that one was followed up with the AGPMD program, which my colleague Shamsu had already explained. Then the TwoScale program started in 2012. We were hosted by ILRI at that time until we get our full registration in 2015. So within the TwoScale program, it had its first phase from 2011 to 2018, and now we are on the second phase of the TwoScale program. So what we do in TwoScale is we promote private sector-led food security, public-private partnerships. So we believe in the entrepreneurial spirit and also the expertise of the private sector in the market. And we leverage their presence to contribute to food and nutrition security in sub-Saharan African countries. So it's a little bit unconventional project whereby you don't see the project promoting itself here and there, but it's a project that really promotes business and wish to remain in the background. So we are towards the end of TwoScale. Next year we will conclude the TwoScale journey, but that will not be the end of IFDC working in food and nutrition programs in Africa and also in Ethiopia. So we hope that next year IFDC will start a new program in Ethiopia. We will not go into the details now, it's not really relevant, but we hope that with the envisioned project that would really focus on participatory approach for community-based stewardship of natural resources, mainly focusing sustainable use of land. We hope that we can kind of catalyze a bottom-up approach kind of extension services. So we will not be the only one doing that. So from the beginning up to the approval of the project, the Ministry of Agriculture was deeply involved, not only the ministry, but also the research and other relevant institutions had been consulted in the co-creation process. So it was designed with their joint commitment. So we hope that starting from early January of next year, there would be something that would try to show a different way of doing the extension system in the country. So I'm not really undermining the way the extension system is doing now. Well, I had the privilege of seeing several countries in Africa. There's no African countries that can be compared with Ethiopia when it comes to public extension system. So we are by far better than all the African countries in terms of publicly funded extension service to the smallholder farmers. But it doesn't mean that it's all green and it's all, it's not, there are rooms for improvement, and this project really aims to contribute for that by really doing a participatory approach for stewardship of resource, starting from the grassroots all the way up to the higher level decision makers. So that one is really more embedded into the spirit of IFDC, which you have already seen in the introductory video of IFDC, where we were established, well, we were not established, but there was a facility that was established in response to the petroleum crisis 5 decades ago. And the US government, after finding a solution for the availability of fertilizer for the American market, they have decided to donate that facility to the world. And that facility is the lab that you have seen, which is now IFDC, the International Fertilizer Development Center. So that facility had been the main source of new technologies and innovations, and that's why we were also given the International Public Organization prestige in the US. So we are not incorporated as an NGO in the US, but we are a public organization in the US. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear from him. Usually institutional memories are needed. He's a kind of person who can tell you the details. This is like an overview. Out of what he said, yes, public extension is one. Public-private extension, pluralistic approach is there. I think the government is going towards there. If we have a private sector-led extension, really that can sustain it. And that's really better. So we have a lot to learn from TwoScale. And there are a lot of things, even in terms of capacity building, that the project has done. Having said this and, listen to what has been said, we would wind our session over here and we'll go to cake cutting. To celebrate this, what we will do is we'll call upon our major donors, Your Excellencies from the Netherlands Embassy Hanan and Your Excellencies from USAID. We have Dr. Irgalam and Said. So we'll also have like officials representing the government from EABC. We'll have also representatives from MOA, and then IFDC staff can show up over there, and we'll proceed with cake cutting. Yeah.
Thank you. So we are just gathered here to celebrate our 50th year of contribution to feed the world through feeding the soil. So my name is Ebsraj, working for IFDC to support the post-summit action plan on African soil health and fertilizer declaration of Nairobi Declaration. So I call upon my colleagues to swiftly celebrate our 50th of contribution. And all IFDC staff, you are kindly invited to come to the podium. Please quickly, all IFDC staff. I know you have not had your lunch, but we have kept our esteemed guests who are celebrating this. Okay, now, please the music. You dance. So, you didn't have your lunch. Now you dance because you are the generation celebrating the 50th year of contribution. Please. Later. Yes. The music is not coming. Now we invite our donors and esteemed partners to join us in sweetly celebrating our 50th year by cutting the cake. Please hand on to the cake. Dear tonight from SNV, you are kindly invited. So, tonight, please come over here. Melissa. So the five of you, representing the donor and the consortium members, and also Ababa, you hold the knife together. This is sweetly celebrating what we have done so far and joining hands to do more in the years to come. Enjoy your lunch. So as we share the slices, we share the sweet memories of feeding the soil to feed the population. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for that wonderful time we've had cutting the cake. Please wait momentarily. We are cutting the cake into small pieces and then we'll distribute to every one of us so that we can share the sweet celebration of IFDC's work.
Yes, so we have to take photo first before IFDC. Okay. All IFDC stuff. Yes, stuff. Okay. Click there and later. So can I come in? Yes, let me know. So panel was
Thank you.